Hey, it's Dave. Welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to go over a song by a band called Firefall that I'd like to show you on the acoustic. And then I'd like to discuss a little bit about slash chords and their use and how to look at them. And it'll also help you look at chords with larger extensions. So this Firefall song is called Strange Way, and I play it acoustically in my duo in drop D, and I pretty much think that they probably have it in drop D on the record, although you can hear the bass and you can't really hear if the guitar's going that low. But so anyway, I'm tuned in drop D. This is a D, A, D, G, B, and E. So when you play it like a D chord, you can play all six. You know, Lindsay used it quite a bit. You know, lots of people used it. David Gilmour. So anyways, in this Firefall song, it's basically just two parts. There's the verse section, and then there's the chorus. You're going to see, we're going to call these, for this purpose of this song, I refer to all the chords as slash chords because I just see this as the bass is being pedaled on D, that all the chords are basically just underneath our slash chords. And we're going to go into that after this as to why slash chords are good. And even if I'm not playing slash chords, if a song calls for it, I usually play the voicing as a slash chord because I feel it's a wider range. And Steely Dan uses it a lot. They will approach like these big extensions as slash chords. And again, I'm going to show you that. So the song is this one here is in D minor. And the first chord is like a B flat on the bottom three strings. So you have the third string on the 7th fret, the second string on this 6th fret, and the first string on the 6th fret. And we play all six, so it's... Now the second chord, he alternates it in the song from open to barred. And the second chord is a C over D. And the C is played with this inversion. That C. So sometimes he'll play this chord as this. And it's actually, I think once the vocal starts in, he does. And he alternates that with this chord, which is just the first fret of the second string. Alright, so that's the second chord. So we can look at it like... The third chord is an A minor over D. And it's just almost like when he plays this version, then he just adds this finger here. Alright, so that's the second chord, and it's always played in this position. And it's just the A on the third string and the C on the second string. E string is open. And then the last chord is similar to this C chord, but it's a B flat. So the first and last chords are B flat. So again, here's the verse, and I'm going to play it both ways so you can hear how it alternates. And then, of course, with the vocal, it's... Didn't I hear you crying lately? Oh. Didn't I see you? Alright, so then it just keeps doing this until the last one when he's like, feeling da, 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 da. And that's just a B flat. And that's always right before the chorus. And now here's the chorus chords. It's just D minor, C to B flat to C. Always with the D in the bass, so they're slash chords. The first one is just a regular D minor. Right? D, F, A. It's the C. The B flat. It's almost like in the air tonight, right? I can feel it calling in the air that night. Jeez, I should put them together, right? Do a mashup, because it's a strange way to tell me you love me. Now my voice is completely gone. I'm fighting a cold here. And then it goes to this chord again, where the strings are like a... It does that up both octaves, like... over that B flat. And then back to... And I hope that helps you to learn the song. I know when I was learning it, like I said, a lot of times I'll be looking it up online just to see how people hear these chords. And nobody was playing. Someone did the whole song and they were just playing these chords, and I was like, yeah, that's not right. All right, so let's delve in a little bit to slash chords. A slash chord's a chord that's going to have, it's a chord that's based on a different root. So, like, if you take a look at, like, Supertramp's, the outro to, I'll give a little bit. You have the D, the G over D, the A over D, right? Then to the C over D, G over D to D, right? And so you have, like, these slash chords. Well, sometimes slash chords can make interesting extensions, and you'll see them written out as the full chord. So if you took a look at a song like Peg by Steely Dan, so the opening is this G major 9 to an F sharp 7 sharp 9 to an F major 9 to an E7 sharp 9 to an E flat major 9 to a D7 sharp 9, and then we have the, actually it's a, and then I would have to, which this is like a G add 9, but he plays it as a stacked 4. And I'll explain that for you in a second too. So just so you know, stacked 4s are when you stack 3 or 4 notes together, a fourth apart. And they add extensions. Sometimes if you use the 4 notes, it's going to add a 6-9. If you use 3 notes, it'll just add the 9. So if you took like a G, in this song, he's playing you could look at it like, when you play the piano, if you visualize this, the C major 7 really is like an E minor inversion over the C bass. So you could look at that as E minor over C, even though we know it as C major 7. In the same way, you could look at the G add 9 here as ADG, which would be a stacked 4. A to D is 4, D to G is 4, over the G in bass. The A, of course, being the 9, the D being the 5, and the G being the root. So that's how they look at that song. But getting more to the point, if you looked at the G major 9 chord, you can look at this as a D triad over a G bass. And I think there's a great video of Donald Fagen explaining Peg online, and he talks about that. He talks about he's playing a D triad with a G in the bass to the F sharp 7 sharp 9, to then he plays a C triad with an F in the bass as the F major 9. It's good to know both, but what he's doing is instead he's omitting notes that are in that chord. So in the G major 9 chord, we have a full G major 9 is going to be 5 notes. You have the G, B, D, which is the G triad, and then you have the F sharp and the A, the major 7 and the 9 from the major 9 chord. So if you take that and you say, well, let's get rid of the 3. So now we have, and you can get rid of the root out of the main part and keep it to the bass. So you really have like just a D triad over G as 4 notes. That's how I think he looks at it, as And I think a lot of Steely Dan songs do that. And when you do it that way, you're basically just picking and choosing what notes you want out of the chord, because I think like the B would add clutter. The major third adds clutter, and it sounds wider and bigger in the slash chord form. So it's good to know the slash chord. It's good to know, like one of my favorite Steely Dan songs is which are all, all these beautiful. Right, it's A Black Cow is the song. Now, if you looked up this song and you looked up the music, you would see this chord here. Which you could call, I guess, a D6 over E. Because I know the B isn't there. But, it's like an E11. And because you have the root, the A is the 11, the D is the 7, the F sharp is the 9, and the B is the 5. And 11 chords are very, very important. There's so many great songs that use that 11 chord. And really, a lot of them just voice it as the 7, 9, 11 over the bass note. Well, if you look at it like that, you could say, like, everyone knows this, I hope, the A, by A bass, A, C sharp, E. What if we slide it down a whole step? We have G, G, B, D over A. Well, that G chord over A can be seen as an A11. We have the 7, 9, 11. And you'll hear that in songs now. I'm playing it a whole step lower, but you would hear it in like... this was a... It's been eternity in the city. Let the carbon monoxide choke my thoughts away. So that's a whole step lower than the actual recording. And also like the introduction of I'm Not in Love. And again, it's in B too, so it's a whole step lower than this. But this is a whole step lower. The song's a whole step higher. And then a half step above would be when you hear well, your friends let me fancy persuasion. But this 11 chord becomes, used a lot. And you can also do it like this, like where you play the bass up here, so you can move it around. And that's how you would hear it, like... But even though you're looking at it as a whole step below the root, over the root, as a slash chord. So you can look at it both ways. You can look at that as like if I did it in B, this would be an A over B, just like this, which you see a lot of times. At the end of the end of I'm Not in Love, right? So there's many ways to look at that, but it's just important to know, like a lot of times if you're looking up songs and you're reading the music or you see the chord and you see that A11, then you can know it's just, and a lot of times I was seeing somebody playing Sarah Smile recently. And the chord, there's like a couple of cool things that go on. So, when it's like, baby, do the, but then this part is, but I've seen other people play it because I think the keyboard just plays it as the sus, but the guitar is walking it from the 11 to the to the root. Of course, the sus is the 11 because the 4 and the 11 are the same note. But the 11 chord would put the 7 and 9 in the chord with it. Whereas the sus is just playing the root, in the 4 or the 11, how you look at it. Anyways, I hope that sheds some light on slash chords for you, how to look at them. There's it's just a nice way to look at extensions. Also, put in the comments if you want me to teach the whole song Black Cow. There's some great chords in that song. I just love I love that song. But if you don't want to learn it, I won't waste my time. I'll put stuff up you guys want to see. Other than that, I have a gig tonight with AM Station. That should be fun. And if there's a song out there you want me to that you're having trouble with learning some chords, real quickly, I was a friend of mine says he's going to come down to the gig tonight, and he's like, "Can you?" And a couple of times he's asked me to learn a song. He asked me to learn what's that one? Marmalade. You know what? That song by Marmalade. I'm blanking on the name. Something of My Life. I can't believe I can't think of it. Anyways, we've done that. We've done To Love Somebody. He comes up every now. Him and his wife come up. We love to call him up, and we play a few oldies with him. So he asked me to learn. Can't Find the Time by Orpheus. Hey, it's a classic. Late 60s, early 70s song, very popular in the Boston area because the band was originally from Worcester. And so I went to go look up, and I heard, the only version I heard was slightly sharp, and I was like, oh, so I was just listening to it while I was driving, and I'm like, what the heck? So finally, I looked up a couple of people when I got home playing it, and I was just like, I couldn't find anyone that was playing it correctly, so I figured I would show the chords real quickly. So this is like your bonus. Are you excited for your bonus? Here we go. So this is Orpheus, and it's like then it's one more part. So many people say that I couldn't tell a lie in 1,000 pages. Baby, so here we have, this is the part that I haven't seen people play. So it's this E minor to an F sharp minor, but of course you have the 11 and the 7 here. So I would call this, and it's over E. So F sharp minor 7, F sharp minor 7 at 11 over E. Which you've seen in Melissa, It's in a million songs. It's in, well, I don't mind saying, I just need America, and it's in, like I said, it's just in so many, Bread, Make It With You. Hey. So anyways, so in Can't Find the Time, it's here's a little part where it goes. So it's E minor, the F sharp 7 add 11 over E. You can just play it as a G, or C, A, and then it stays. And it goes, switches keys. And now the whole song's a whole step up until now it's baby, you're wrong. Baby, you're wrong. Two more times. Baby, you're wrong. Baby, you're wrong. Back to G. So anyways, and that's how and then it just ends back in the original key of G. Anything else I can go off on today? Not really. Like I said, my head's kind of scrambled because I've been playing gigs all weekend, and I have one more tonight. I'm fighting a little bit of a cold, but I'll get by. Anyways, again, if there's something else on the acoustic you want, if there's a solo I can learn, just let me know, and I'll throw it up there. Nothing else really much to talk about. We had a great gig last night with FM Station. My singer, who was fighting a little bit of a cold himself, at the end sat out like the last three songs. We kind of did like an impromptu. We did an Allman Brothers tune with the keyboard player singing, and we did the Michelob commercial version of After Midnight, the slow one, which I love. So we did that. It was fun. And we did Knocking on Heaven's Door, which I didn't care for, but we just needed to play us. At that point, it was the very end of the night. Anyways, good stuff. If you're in the Boston area, come out and see a show. It'd be good to see you there. Otherwise, I'm going to go eat lunch. Very good.